These videos only happen because of the support and help from our sponsors. Support the companies that support us. So welcome to another Dream Rides episode with the guys at the Bike Specialists. James, good
Lovely
to see
to be
you.
part of it, absolutely.
It's Ring Ding Ding Tuesday.
Of course, smoking.
Now this, two strokes, this is actually where you and the Bike Specialists got going, right?
Yeah, I had a collection of two strokes, the NSRs and the RG, or the 250s. And I've always had a massive passion for two strokes. The smell of them, the feel of them, the sound of them, they're just awesome.
They are something special. And this is a Suzuki RG500.
RG500, this is like going back to the golden age of the GP racing, where you've got Barry Sheene and you've got Kenny Roberts battling it out on the circuits, and the manufacturers needed to think out of the box and give it what everybody wants, and a road bike and a big bore two-stroke, and they've come up with the RG500. Yamaha had the RD 500, and which they're always battling with each other, and Suzuki came up with this one, which is just an awesome piece of kit. I mean, also this bike was the bike what really set Barry Sheene in his career. The Suzuki 500, it was like, wow, you know, and with Barry as well, everyone absolutely loved him, not just because of the motorcycle inside of him, he's just such a character, you know, he's the playboy of that time. I've even actually got his 1976 500cc Brands Hatch winning trophy, which which is a stunning piece to actually own. Yeah, I bought it from Bonhams. Yeah, with a two-stroke, you've got to be very hands-on. Yeah. You know, the leak fuel, oil, etc. But it's all part of owning one. It's all part of the experience and the smell and everything else what goes with the package.
I could smell we were riding this when I walked in here this morning. It just, the place just had that scent of petrol, two-stroke, oil.
Yeah. Oh. Time to get your Duran Duran LP on, and your paddock jacket and your Stonewash jeans and your trainers and your Reebok Classics, and then you're jumping on one of these. That's all part of the era.
That is it. That is that golden era. And I mean, two strokes do evoke that reaction. Yeah, this is obviously out of the two strokes of that era. This is a very special one. But they evoke that reaction, don't they? And people love a smell, noise.
Yeah, the sound of them as well. When one of these screams past you, there's no better sound. I mean, they really are that good. And yeah, probably not so much eco-friendly with all the smoke and everything they put out.
No.
You won't get it past regulations today, put it that way.
Not a chance. It speaks of just being in a completely different era. I mean the RG500 as well. They only made them for a couple of years.
From 85 to 87, so only 2 years, yeah, you're right.
In terms of the technology itself on the bike, obviously, a lot of the stuff I've ridden recently and a lot of the stuff we kind of look around here, it's kind of relatable to modern riders and modern sports bikes. It takes that step back into being a bit weirder, doesn't it? Being a two-stroke, it's a four-cylinder two-stroke?
97 horsepower. 97
wow.
horsepower, which is a lot back then. We're talking 1985, 87. And a two-stroke as well, so the power delivery with the power band, they're very fierce.
And it's light as well, it's not a heavy thing to move.
Yeah,
Do you know what the kilos
155 kilos dry.
Wow.
Yeah, so light.
Yeah, even by modern standards, that's light.
Yeah.
And then you start looking at the chassis, so it's, what are you saying? Probably full of fuel, it's probably 165, 170
Yeah, I'd
kilos.
agree with you there, definitely.
And you've got 95 horsepower, 97 horsepower. And you've got, I can't take my eye off those tyres, those really skinny tyres.
Really skinny.
Tiny 16-inch front wheel.
And 17-inch on the back.
Brake discs that look like they came off a moped.
Yeah, I've got bigger ones on a mountain bike.
Exactly. It is a real stark reminder that, 1987 was a long time ago.
Yeah.
And we all know power figures and all that stuff's moved a long way. Brakes and tyres, and that has changed a lot. So that is going to make this... Yeah, if 95 horsepower on 170 kilos wasn't exciting enough.
I just love the 4 exhaust pipes as well at the back. And, when you stood behind it and it sets off, it's just like, wow, the smoke and the noise, it's just, you can see why people love these bikes.
And it's interesting for me because it's not motorcycling art. When we talked about that Ducati 998, you and I could sit here in silence staring at that for hours. And this, I'm looking around it, but it's more out of interest. It's not a beautiful motorcycle.
It's definitely a bike of its time. It screams to me 1980s.
Yeah.
It
It
really
is
does.
the most 80s looking bike ever, right down to Mickey Mouse's ears for
Yes.
indicators. and the
And
mirrors too.
The handlebars, I'm not right keen on it. You're very much like, yeah.
Yeah. For me, and I think this is probably the same for a lot of people, the whole two-stroke thing is so evocative because it reminds me of having nothing to do but wear out tyres and burn petrol.
Correct. It's a hooligan bike of its time. And to be fair, when you ride it today, you'll still feel that.
No. Very special as well. Do you remember these? Look! This is called a kicking start. It's like an electric start, but manual. Obviously that was first kick and we haven't spent 15 minutes warming it up first. Right, give me my helmet, I'm going. I'm riding an RG500 in the snow. This thing is so fizzy. You know, there's people have a thing for two strokes. They're a bike and an engine that's quite well loved, any two stroke. And there's a few reasons for that. A lot of us start out on two strokes, so that makes you immediately associate that smell and that noise with loving motorbikes. But I think more than that, I think it's the fact that everything's so buzzy and vibraty. So the whole bike, the whole machine has this sort of, I don't know, fizz to it really. It's snowing. I'm riding in the snow. If you're tazzing around the lanes, they just feel excited. There's no two ways about it. And then on top of that, you can't just take the power for granted. You know, you got to keep the thing on song. It doesn't like to be left at low RPM. So it is an occasion riding one of these. And for me, that's what special bikes and classic bikes are about. They're about taking any ride and making it special, making it an occasion. Even if you end up riding in a bloody hailstorm in jacket and jeans. Oh, what am I doing? Questioning my life choices right now. But then again, I am on an RG500, which is pretty bloody special. This thing, 17-year-old Chris is back. I'm going to start listening to punk and shaving a Mohican in again. It's just, if ever there was a bike that turns you back into a teenager more than this, I've yet to ride it. Probably because it just doesn't like going slow. It doesn't run properly at low speeds. It's a two-stroke, it wants to be revved, and if you ride it around burbling, it cokes up and goes blah, 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 and gets grumpy with you. So then you have to thrash it, and when you thrash it, it hits into the power band, the forks extend, the bars wiggle, and it goes and because that sounds so good in one gear, obviously you then got to do it in all the gears, and then all of a sudden you're going way too quick, and then you can't stop, and then you go into a corner too fast. And so the cycle continues, which is exactly like every time I rode a bike when I was 17. And I'm sure I'm not alone in that. I can't imagine what it was like when these came out in the 80s, and at 17, 18, 19, you could jump on that, because I'm 35 and it's making me really irresponsible riding it. I would not have survived. I'm telling you, I would not have survived. I wouldn't have made it. there'd have been a big RG500 hole in every single hedge within a 10-mile radius of my home. I bloody love it. It's strange because you look at these bikes, and I think a lot of people who rode these back in the day look at them and it stirs up all those emotions. You go, oh, that's lovely. But really, if we're being honest about this, if we're being completely blunt and frank and unemotional, look at it. It's not pretty. The big slabby fairing, rectangle headlight, indicators that look like they came off a London bus, great big valves stuck out this. It's a very technical bike. It's not smooth and flowing and pretty. It's functional. And then those mirrors look like Mickey Mouse's ears. Even when I was riding it, all I could see was these two great big mouse ears. And I'm not gonna put this in my living room and drool over it. It's not that bike. This bike is all about the sound, the smell, and the feel of riding it. And in that department, brilliant. I'm gonna be giggling every time I put this jacket on for the next week because the jacket now stinks of two-stroke oil. Happy days, happy, happy days. Oh, how good is that? That is all those Grand Prix fantasies, all those racing fantasies, all that stuff, all the waffle about two strokes and the emotion and the noise and the smell. It's all true. It's all true. This thing, it's wobbly, it's hard to ride, the handlebars are cocked in, it's not that fast, but by God is it special. Oh! I'm as fizzy as the bike is when it's running. Everything buzzes, and I'm still buzzing now. It's just listen. Just listen. That little pop, pop, crack, crack. Everything on the bike, every surface of the bike, every surface is fizzy. It just makes it really exciting. Two strokes are brilliant. The one bit I didn't enjoy was the brakes. I found myself more than once coming into corners going because the brakes have power, but you've got to pull the lever fully hard to get that power, and then there's not much feel. So you're kind of swinging on the brake lever, hoping that it's not going to randomly lock the front tyre. And I found that a little bit unnerving today, I have to be honest. If I was going to have one, and actually, this has probably kicked me up the bum to go and get my RGV back out the garage and make that work again. If I was going to have one, I would want to do something to improve the braking. And I think at that point, it would be a superbly enjoyable road bike. Even with the brakes as they were, once I kind of reprogrammed my brain to use both hands on the lever, yeah, 17-year-old Chris was very, very happy. 4 fingers on the brakes. I haven't had to do that since I had a bike with drum brakes. Charging through the gears, trying to get the most out of the motor, trying to keep it on song, blipping every down change, thinking about, what the temperatures are doing, what the engine's doing, keeping 2 fingers there just in case something bad happens. It is so involving, and it's interesting because there's so much going on, but it's not frightening. It's not a bike that scares me, which I was fully prepared for it to be, but I never once felt like it was more bike than I was. It feels like you can use all of it. Fast forward even 10 years in sports bikes terms from this, and that balance starts to switch the other way. I actually rode this on the same day as we rode the Ducati Desmo Sedici. Stay tuned, little teaser there for you. Essentially, 2 Grand Prix derived bikes for the road. In reality, very, very different. This one has a 16-inch front wheel and a 17-inch rear wheel. The Ducati has a 17 front, 16 rear. That's as similar as they get. This thing makes you feel like you are God. Makes you feel like you can ride every last bit of it, and you're pushing the bike, and yeah, you're there to push the bike along. The Desmo made me feel like I was getting in its way, and it was annoying. It was annoyed that I was on its back because I wasn't Casey Stoner, which is an interesting balance, and that's, what's that, 30 years difference? So, yeah, No, 20 years difference. And in 20 years, we went from being the masters of these things to terrified of them. So yeah, if you want to be the master of a bike, wind back to the 80s, you're never going to sit with one of these in your living room, but holy cow, just stupid and fun and will turn you into a teenager. And it's worth it just for the smell. So my dad used to race two-stroke Yamahas back in the 80s, and there's something I've always wanted to do.